Hi, I'm David Yandrasic, and welcome to the Worry to Wonder video training. I want to thank you for taking the time and making the space to watch these series of videos to really understand your own worries and anxieties and how you are stuck in them and how to break free from them. That is the point of these videos, and what I'm going to do in this first video is I'm going to explain to you what 95% of my clients do when they first walk in the door that keeps them so stuck in worry and anxiety, and what I call the worry spell. Then in the next video I'm going to tell you more about the 3 steps to break free from the worry spell and to release the energy and the passion and the wisdom and the power inside you to be able to pursue your big dream. Now I want you to understand how the worry spell works. The very first thing that happens is we start to imagine worst case scenario. Something triggers us. We get a call from the doctor about our tests not being positive, or our partner sounds like they're going to do something that's scary to us, or something about our children or about work. Something triggers us. It could be the smallest thing. What happens inside here is what creates the whole worry spell. We start to imagine the worst case scenario. We don't just look at the facts and go, okay, what could this, it could be this, it could be that. We start to imagine the worst case scenario. So if our doctor calls us, we start to imagine, oh my God, what if I have this disease? Or what if I'm going to die? What if I leave my family and they're not going to have anyone to take care of them? And we go into this kind of train of thinking. It's a spiral into more and more fear. So 50% of my clients, when they walk in the door, whenever fear comes up, worry comes up, they show me what they do with it. And what most people do, half of people do, is they avoid. They try to deny, oh, I'm not afraid, it's okay, or they try to distract and focus on something else, hoping that the fear will just go away. Now there's an adaptive part of that, obviously, because if you can shift your focus and push away something that's causing you a lot of fear and anxiety, maybe freezing you up, you get a moment of relief, and it's adaptive, right? Because sometimes those fears don't come back. But most fears do come back. And so what happens when we're avoiding, and we're avoiding too much, is we start to have it expressed in our body. Because it's coming up in our mind, and we're not listening to it, we're not processing it, we're not doing anything about it. The message is still trying to be heard, it's trying to come out, so it comes out in our body, and we start to have stomach aches, or we get sick in our throat or in our sinuses, or we get headaches. That kind of stuff is often caused by anxiety and stress, and the stress comes from fighting with what is, what's the reality, right? And so that comes from avoiding. Now 45% of people have moved beyond avoiding. They've realized that doesn't work. That makes things worse. And they start to realize that fear is a terrible master, but a wonderful servant. It can teach me something, it can inform me, it can motivate me. So they start to develop a controlling attitude around fear. They think, if I can harness it, control it, contain it, then I am the master here. And there's a lot of good that could come out of that, especially with smaller kind of fears, to manage things in a moment. If you're in an actual danger and you start to have fear come up, maybe you need to manage it, to put it aside, compartmentalize it, or just contain it so that you can have enough space in your mind to take action and be thoughtful. The long-term cost, a longer term, doesn't take very long actually, but the longer term cost of controlling, you could see what my body's doing. I'm getting tense. When we're trying to control something, that's when tension shows up in the body. That's when we get invaded with these thoughts when we're sleeping and when we're really tired, when we're not exerting any control, when we're not trying to master or change something. It comes up. It comes up anyway. And fear is a very powerful emotion. It can come up very quickly. it can surprise us, and it can flood our nervous system. It can make us go blank, it can make us freeze up, it can make us feel like we need to run away. And often when we're afraid, we lose our focus and we lose our mind, so to speak, right? We lose our ability to focus on what we want to focus on. So when we try to control, eventually we start to realize that we can't. That the fear can feel bigger than us. And so we start to feel powerless, we start to feel like a failure, we start to feel despair, and we go to the next stage of our worry spell, which is we start to experience this belief that fear is something to be afraid of. Fear is too dangerous, it's too overwhelming, it's too big, and we get into that overwhelm even more, and we go back to imagining the worst case scenario of the thing that we're afraid of. And then we go on and we go on. We have to have a way to break out of that worry spell. It's so powerful and can go on and on. It can be in the background. We're not even aware of it. We're going into imagining worst case scenarios, avoiding, trying to control, getting overwhelmed, and then going back to imagining. Like a rocking chair, said Irma Bombeck, worry allows us to feel like we're doing something, but doesn't take us anywhere. And so sometimes we get into this worry spell, into this pattern, and we feel like, okay, we're doing something, we're going on the internet, we're finding out information. But no matter how much information you get, oftentimes the things that we're really afraid of have uncertainty. That's part of life. You can't control it. No matter how much action we take, no matter what we do, how hard we work, or how much we try to help people or make people happy, there's a certain level of things, there's a lot of things actually in this world that we can't control. And so we go on in this rocking chair until we find a way to break free. About 5% of my clients walk in the door already on the way. They're already walking through and transforming their fear and worry. They know something that 95% of us don't. And I want to tell you about that in the next video. It's also something that I teach the 95% of my clients who have issues with fear and anxiety and worry and panic. I teach them what this 5% of the population just instinctively knows. It's also related to a philosophy and a technique that's thousands of years old and that's being rediscovered in the mental health system. Now in the next video, I want to give you the 3 steps to break free of this worry spell so that you can start to realize your big dream. You can take all the energy that you're using to control or avoid the things that are bothering you and bringing you worry and anxiety. You can release that energy and put it into something really important in your life, or just enjoy the peace and the freedom that comes from doing that. And I'm also going to tell you my worrisome and wonderful tale, a little bit about my life and all the anxiety and panic and worry that I went through, and how over the years I've shed a lot of these fears, and what that's been like for me, to give you a little bit of an example. Thank you for watching. I hope this video has been provocative and has helped you to understand some of the things that we all do, or most of us do, to keep ourselves stuck, and has made you curious about what is it that can help me to break out of the worry spell. Because I'm going to give you that information. I'm not going to tease you for much longer. It's just going to be a day or two when I post it. I'll send you an email if you're on this email list, or if you just come back to this website, you're going to see the next video. Thank you again. Have a beautiful day.